now to record here. It is sub-editing, DCOM 411. Consultation hours still remain from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. every Monday. And let's look at the unit description. The unit description simply states that this unit is intended to equip the trainee, that is you, with knowledge, skills and attitudes and competences that will enable them to embrace the various editing practices. It also equips the learner with editing techniques as they embrace the importance of editing and the role of sub-editor in print. Yeah, we are going to look at the role of sub-editor. What does a sub-editor do? The unit also gives detailed account of modern editing. Nowadays, the way editing was done a long time ago and the way we are doing it right now, or the way it is done right now or today, is totally different. So we edit using computers and the production techniques. So its aim is both to help the young sub-editor, that is you, and to spell out the newcomer to newspaper journalism what will happen between the writing of news stories, features, and their appearances in the newspaper when it comes off the press. So you can see something has been repeated here. News stories and features. We've just had a newspaper class, and yes, I was asking you what is the difference between news and features. So it has appeared again. Yes. That's why I'm telling you, this unit, they correlate newspaper writing and reporting and sub-editing. So what are we expecting, or what outcome at the end of this course? What will change, or what will happen? So by the end of this course, you will be able to demonstrate the understanding of the importance of editing in print. Yeah, you'll be able to know why should I edit a news story, or why should I edit a copy. You'll be able to know the importance of such. You'll be able to describe the various writing styles, because newspapers are written differently. Like, you can be able to say the difference, or to see the difference between the Nation newspaper and the Standard just by looking at them. Sindio? Unaweza kuangalia newspaper, yes. Unaweza kupewa newspaper na ukiangalia tu hivi kama imefungwa headline peke yake, the topmost area ambayo ina state the kind of newspaper, say Star newspaper, Nation or Standard, you will be able to tell that this is Nation and this is Standard. So why? Because of the writing styles that have been incorporated. We are also going to look at the tools, the editing tools, and the techniques that a sub-editor uses to actually edit the newspaper. So we go to the course syllabus schedule. We are going to week 1. Week 1 was supposed to be last week, but yeah, week 1 was supposed to be last week. That's when we were supposed to be starting with topic 1. But because of various or circumstances, we are going to start week 1 today. So, writing headlines. So the topic 1 is writing headlines. Of course, in every topic, there is always an introduction. So the importance of headlines are many, because when you write your headline in an awkward way, or you write your headline in a very funny way, it will not attract the readers. It will not attract the readers, and therefore that means the newspaper will not be bought. So the core thing of a headline is to attract or to be able to attract readers. Once it attracts the readers will buy them. The reader will buy that particular newspaper. If it does not attract the reader will not buy. And therefore it means that the advertiser who has advertised with you will not be able to sell his products to the clients, and the clients are the readers. So it is upon the sub-editor to come up with a very nice headline that attracts readers, so that the newspaper can be bought, so that the clients, the advertisers, and the advertisers also can advertise. It's like taking your products to the market. You usually take your products to a market that is full of people. You don't take your products to a market where there are no people, there are no buyers, there are no sellers. So the same case with advertisers. Advertisers would want to advertise their products and services to a newspaper that people buy frequently, so that readers can read and can actually see the adverts and so on and so forth. So here we will look at factors to keep in mind while writing headlines. There are some factors that you need to put in mind when you're writing a headline. Number one, you need to consider things like the message that you're sending. You need to consider the type, the font. Those are the things that we will look at. We also need to know the content of the headline. Remember, in the newspaper, we said that your headline should be written in an active voice. An active voice such that when a reader reads that news, I mean, there is that impact. Like when, for example, a president has died, you don't say that the president died. You just say the president is dead. That way, you are actually telling the reader that this news is very current because you're using active voice. So we are going to look at the content of a headline, what the headline should have. You're going to look at how to compose a headline. And then you're going to look at the headline typography. Typography simply means the arrangement or what the newspaper has. I'm trying to look at what we call the synonym of a typography. The synonym of typography is design, just the design of the newspaper, the layout, the composition of the newspaper. We are going to look at what does it compose of. I mean, how does it look like? Now, that one now again links with what? Newspaper, because headline typography, we are looking at the composition. Then topic 2, we look at what we call pictures. Pictures are very important in what we call in a newspaper. Pictures are very important in a newspaper. Here we are going to look at the roles of the pictures. Remember, one, pictures attract readers. Kwa mfano kama tunaongea kuhusu a new project that the government is undertaking, let's say for example, building homes or houses, cheaper houses for its citizens or for the low income earners. It would be good that you show us the project, how it is going on through the pictures. But when you just mention it in a maybe in a headline or in some few lines, with if you mention it and you just writing a few lines in a newspaper, it's not going to make much impact as opposed to when you put a picture. So pictures are very important because number one, they attract readers. Number two, they summarize the whole story. Sometimes I tell my students, because we have come to realize that some students or people are very lazy in reading the newspaper. So mimi huambia wanafunzi wangu, kama unaona ya kwamba hauwezi kusoma newspaper, just pick a newspaper and look at the pictures, because pictures tell stories. You can be able to tell, there is a saying that says, pictures are worth 1,000 words. That when we see a picture, we are able to do what? To tell a lot of things. The same case, we are going to look at the sources of a picture. Where can we get pictures? As a journalist, where do we get pictures? We can get them in media houses, in their archives. Kama kwa mfano unapatanga saa zingine kama newspaper imeandikwa, they are using pictures za kitambo. Like, let's talk about the death of President Moi. I think the whole week, the whole period before actually he was buried, and even after he was, up to when he was buried, you realize that almost all the newspapers were having, were talking about President Moi from the first page almost to the last page. We are talking about the late President Moi. And there were pictures there. Kulikuwa na picha za Moi za kitambo mpaka mahali tumefikia. Mahali tulikuwa tumefikia ndio akaaga dunia. So those pictures, where did they find them? So they went to their library, they went to their archives, and those are the places where they got those pictures. Then choosing pictures, what are the factors that are considered when you are choosing pictures? Kwa mfano ninataka kuandika story kuhusu tuseme kwa mfano I'm talking about coronavirus, and I want to show how many people have died, etc., etc. I want to show a statistic, some kind of statistics. You see, I'll have to choose a picture. You can use what we call a picture that gives information about the statistics. Like, for example, you can bring about the map of Kenya with lines, with indications of the areas that have been affected.